I was talking to my roommate last night. He's been thinking a little bit ever since he saw Polyev talking to Jordan Peterson. So, anyways, just rearranging my wallet here. He says to me, he says, well, if your theory about the WEF wanting to thin out global population has any validity, why then, when the panda, you know what I mean, the panda scare came, censorship, why did they then make a Vaseline to cure it? Why wouldn't they just let the panda, destroy everybody? I said, well, we're 3 years in now, Jono. Do you believe in the panda? Well, no, but then why did they make a Vaseline? I said, well, did it work? He goes, well, seems to be working the opposite way. I was like, oh, like thinning the numbers out then, you mean? He's like, I was like, he's going, why doesn't all add up? I don't get it. I said, well, who paid for all of the Vaselines? The peasants paid for them, correct? He says, well, yeah. I said, so it was a good money-making scheme then, wasn't it? Moved a lot of money from the peasants' pockets to the big boys. And now, what the panda didn't do, the Vaseline seems to be doing, right? He's like, yeah, okay, well, hard to argue any of that. Said it doesn't make sense, though. Why does the king want less peasants in a fiefdom? I said, well, they have enough. They have more than enough. They don't need 8 million. They need, billion, approaching 8 billion people. 1 billion's plenty. He's going, no, the kingdom always wants more peasants. You need them to increase production. I said, well, they got everything they need. They own everything. They own the land. They own the resources. They have all of the money. 7 out of 8 of us are useless eaters to them. Nothing but. They only need 1 billion of us. They don't need 8 billion. The other 7 are just useless eaters. He's going, no, they always want more. They always want more. I said, well, you're thinking past tense. This isn't the 14th, 15th, 16th century, John. And I said, look at it this way. Now, and I don't want to offend anyone here, not black people, not the South, not anything. I'm just using it as an analogy as I presented it to John. I said, look at it this way. If the entire, what did they used to call the Deep South in the States, back in the plantation days, I said, all of the land's taken, John, all the plantations are set up. The cotton market is totally complete, and they have 8 slaves, and they only need 1. So the other 7 are just costing them money to feed. There's no market to sell them because all of the other plantations have a full duty roster. Again, don't slag me for slavery, the South, or blacks, or anything related to this. I'm just using it as an analogy. And he's like, well, then, they've got the money and the extra manpower. They'd go take over something else. And I was like, no, what? The sugarcane fields and whatever, the pineapple fields, they're all in the same position, John. The plantations are full of cotton and lots of manpower. So are the sugar plantations and the pineapple plantations. Moving it into today, it's pretty full. And he just couldn't get his head around that. He's like, no, they always need more. Who's going to build all the planes and all the cars? I said, well, once we're enslaved in 15-minute cities, they only need 1 billion of us to keep the lights on. They're not going to be building commercial jets. They just need to maintain and build their private jets. And the same with their automobiles. They drive Mercedeses. They don't drive Chevys. Chevys are for the useless eaters. So you don't need, a few million people making Chevys and being useless eaters. John just couldn't get his head around it. It seems counterproductive, counterintuitive. It's not going to work in the long run. So ultimately it won't work in the long run, but that'll be long after you and I and your grandchildren are, enslaved and gone. Yes, the elitists will rule. Realize one day. I said, but in the meantime, this is their mindset. Anyways, let me know what you think.